Drinking Kool-Aid cameras like I did when I was 9. Cause I like to pretend that I haven't lost the time. In the end, the nostalgia, though it tastes fine, I can only drink a couple cause it feels like a lie. We'd play Halo and we'd lay low in our basement until the sun began to rise. We would go to school but not learn too much, cause it's hard to read when you've got tired eyes. Months go by, the time it flies, past the days that we drink Kool-Aid in the summertime. Years go by, the time it flies, past the days that we drink Kool-Aid in the summertime. They've been with me for some time, and it's nice to know that they still by my side. Friends are like stars, cause no matter how far, when it's dark outside, they will be your light. We'd play Halo, and we'd lay low in our basement until the sun began to rise. We would go to school but not learn too much, cause it's hard to read when you've got tired eyes. Months go by, the time it flies, past the days that we drink Kool-Aid in the summertime. Years go by, the time it flies, past the days that we drink Kool-Aid in the summertime.
Yo, I ain't here for the money, I ain't here for the fame. Though it might be nice to own a jet plane, I'ma do it all for you.
Hi!
Hello.
Welcome everybody to episode 8 of Beyond Streaming. I am your host, Lainie. This is my co-host,
Tevin, hello.
And today's a little bit different. We don't have a guest. We are actually our own guests.
Yeah.
For
We're the
today.
guests.
We're going to be questioning each other basically about where we started with streaming, as well as just getting into the great conversations of the streaming world and content creation. And as always, the last 15 minutes of the podcast will be taking questions from chat. So get those questions ready and we'll get them answered. I'm excited.
Oh, yeah. I'm really excited.
This is very, very different for sure. I don't think I've ever actually talked about where we started.
It's like one of those things, like when people are like, so tell me about yourself. And you're like, who am I?
Yeah, like I always freeze up. I'm like, how do I, like, I don't like normally talking about myself. So it's like, how do you go into that?
I know exactly what you mean.
Tevin.
Yes, Lainie.
I'm going to start this out with, where did it all start? How did you get into it?
Like I heard this question before. So where did it all start? I want to say I was about 3 or 4 years old. I want to say I probably started on like the Nintendo 64. Like,
Ooh.
yeah. So actually, So I have 2 older brothers, and we're all
Mhm.
very competitive within one another. And we had Mortal Kombat 4, I remember, and my mom hated the fact that I played it, so they would have to like turn off the blood and stuff like that. That was
Oh,
like that
yeah.
was the compromise. Was like, okay, he could play, but there can't be blood. And eventually, and my brothers would not go easy on me at all. They
Of
like,
course.
yeah, they're like, no, like I'm gonna beat your ass. Sorry, like he's
They're
crying.
not here
The moment I
to
start
play
crying, like,
nice.
okay, he could leave the room. So like
Yeah.
that was probably like the goal was like, let's get him out of here as fast as we can. Let's just
Right.
make sure he doesn't want to play. But eventually, like when they would go to school and stuff, I would stay home and like play. Like I wanted to be better than them. And
Right.
eventually I got really good. Like to the point where like their friends would come over and they're like, hey, like let's play whatever. And they're like, no, like play my little brother. And, like he's like 4. Why would I do that? Like, no, like play my little brother. And so then I would like win and they're like, why is he so good? They're like, dude, he just practices the entire time. And then and so went from that, and then I had like a PS2 for a while, and then my mom hated video games. Mom, she thought it was
Of
like the
course.
biggest waste of time.
Yeah.
Whatever. I did 2 sports, so I was like always active, but I didn't get like my real gaming system to like the PS3. Like I had the PS2 and everyone was already on the PS3 and the Xbox 360 and everything. And then finally I worked at Dairy Queen and I saved up and I was like, I'm getting a PS3. So I got a
Ooh.
PS3 and Call of Duty Ghosts was like my first official COD. I was that person that's going like
Ooh.
2 and 25 in your lobby. Like the people that I hate now is what I once was. Like, because there's
You used to be that guy.
yeah, like now I'm like, how do you stay in the game that long? Like, why don't you leave? Except that was me at one point, and it was bad. But then eventually moved to PS4, and come fast forward COVID time. Everyone was always like, my friends would always be like, "Yo, you have like an upbeat personality. Like, why don't you stream?
Yeah.
Why don't you do whatever? Like, your reactions are funny. Like, whatever. Like, stream." And I was like, I don't know. Like, I don't see it kicking off anywhere.
Right.
And then finally, come COVID time when it was like lockdown, I was like, I have nothing else better to do. I might as well try it. And I never thought it would be at the point to where I am now. Like I thought it would just be like my intermediate friends and stuff like that, and intermediate family, just close friends and family who would stop by every now and then. And yeah, and here we are now. Now we're doing on a podcast. I stream 5 days a week, and it's insane how it all
It's
just
crazy.
blossomed.
It's crazy how much can change within the matter of just like a month, even. Like,
Yeah, no, it's insane. Like the amount of growth that there is. Like it definitely helped going in with no expectations, but
right.
it's insane just how fast things can change. It literally takes 1 day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like my friends and I talk about it, and we're like, and we were talking about Tim the Tatman because Tim the Tatman was like, I was only at 1,000 viewers. Like, that's a lot to us, but he's like I was at 1,000, I was at 1,000, I was 1,000, and then suddenly one day he's like, it just shot like 45,000 and whatever like that. And we just talked to each other. And we're like, we never know. We just need that one day.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. And so it's crazy just thinking like just that one day, and then I ended up loving it. And I'm like, I play video games all the time, so I might as well stream it. So and
It
here we
also helps
are.
because it's like you had outside advice telling you like, "Hey, you got this personality, you should go out
Mhm.
there and try it." And then
Yeah, it
obviously other people see that too, so
it definitely helped, like,
yeah.
because there's always that, like, I don't know if I should do this, like, stuff like that, especially when starting and not knowing what the heck to do because I had no background knowledge of it at all. Like, I
Right.
started on the PS4 streaming, and it was literally just using, like, the share button, and it was,
Yep.
like, start podcast or, like, start
Yep.
broadcast, and
Broadcast,
then
yeah.
and that's, like, what it was. I had no face cam, no nothing. It was, like, my headset mic and stuff like that,
Yep.
and now here we are, camera, mic, whole 9 yards,
And you're
but
an absolute goat at Call of Duty.
no, no.
You have your brothers to thank for
Yeah,
for
the
where you are.
drive, that was it. They were literally just yeah, and it's crazy because like, I don't realize half the shit I do until, like, I rewatch it, and I'm like, "How'd I do that?" Like, Like, because I don't
Right.
react. When I'm playing, that's one thing I hate, like, when I go for clips and stuff, I don't react
Right.
to anything I do.
Right.
Like, I'm just locked in. So when I'm locked in, because, like, I play with all my friends are, like, moans and stuff like that. Like, content creating people. People are super silly, super funny, whatever, and I'm, like, the sweat of the group. So I'm
Yep.
always locked in. So, like, I'm, like, doing stuff, and I'm, like, I don't react to it, and I hate it. I hate the fact that I don't. The only thing I noticed is, like, when I snipe someone out of the air. When I'm, like, just messing around, and then next thing you know, I'm like, oh, you guys see that? Like, that's the, like,
Like your
that's the
own
only,
skill surprises you.
yeah, like, that's the only time I ever really get a reaction out of me is, like, when I do something that I didn't intend to do at all. But other than that,
Yeah, I feel that for sure.
and it's funny because, like, having you and Megan, like, one day, like, described what I do when I'm playing, like, my facial expressions and shit like that. And it's like, I'm so known for, like, smiling and, like, being giddy. And then you
Yeah.
guys talked about, like, how, like, my resting bitch face is just out. And I'm just, like, locked in. And
You're
I'm
like
like,
so zoned into
yeah,
it.
it's a
You
bittersweet.
get this awesome kill and then you're just like
Yeah,
completely different
yeah, then I, like,
person.
break character. It's legit. I'm like, oh, shit. Like, did you guys see that? Like, I legit just break character. It's
Sometimes when I'm so focused in, I forget that I'm streaming. So like I make the weirdest faces, like my mouth will hang open sometimes. And I'll remember I'm streaming and I'll look over. And since like on dashboard it like lags behind. So I'll look at my face and I'm like, ew, that's what I look like when I'm focused. It's great.
yeah, I love it. But right back
Uh-oh.
turn. Where did it all start?
Oh man. Let's see. I started streaming, well, gaming first. I was always gaming maybe when I started, I want to say when I was around not as young as 3 or 4. I was at least like 10 maybe. My dad, he had the PS1, so it was around that time.
Okay,
I don't know
yeah,
what
yeah.
age that was. But my dad had the PS1 and he had this Mercenaries game. And I loved it because at the time I was all about cars. I loved cars. And in the game you could drive around cars and you could steal like tanks, you could steal army trucks, you could steal like civilians' cars and just drive around and you would shoot and kill these enemies. So it was like Call of Duty, but it was also like GTA mixed together.
Love it. Love it.
And I had so much fun with it, just driving the cars around and even stealing cars from civilians. I don't know what was on my brain, but I loved it. And then my dad started to show me Call of Duty and Battlefield and a bunch of different other games. And I was like, holy crap, like, my dad started noticing I was coming home from school, hurrying up my homework, and then getting on the game. So then he started getting at least every console. And then I officially started streaming on the PS4, I want to say about 3 years ago.
Okay.
And that came to me when my cousin, he was on this roller hockey team. So I would go to the games with him and a bunch of his buddies that I'm now really close with. They would talk about Call of Duty and how their streams, like, they get all these viewers and they had someone calling them a cheater and a hacker and all this stuff. And I'm listening and I was so confused. I'm like, what is streaming? What are you talking about? And they're like, you can live stream you playing these video games and people come watch you play this game and they just talk to you and hang out. I was like, so is it just for them to roast you? Like, what is the point of this? And one of them, Damien, he showed me how to start it all up on the PS4. I started streaming off the PS4 and I had my basic little setup. I had the PS4 webcam that I just hooked up on top of my TV. And then I only had my laptop to read chat and stuff. So I had my laptop hooked up on a TV table and then a couple books underneath it to have it propped up on that. And then I had a makeup light as my O-ring light.
You love it.
To stand so it would light me up.
That is crafty though. Like, that's good. That's smart. Like,
I was like now thinking about it, I wish I would have taken a picture of that to show like
the growth.
This is where I started and this is where I am now. Like, it just makes me laugh to think that's where I started, and that's how I started streaming. But having like I wasn't even thinking anything of it, of like where streaming would go. Like I was
Mhm.
just doing it as like something for fun. Like it was a
Yeah.
hobby to me on the weekends. And then I noticed people would start coming into the streams and hanging out and talking, and I'd find new people to play with. I wasn't playing by myself, and I was like starting to realize, holy crap, streaming is a thing. Like this is
Mhm.
a
Like,
big
the
thing.
community and stuff like that, like, it's
Yeah.
insane.
And before like that, I didn't know anything about Dr. Disrespect. I didn't know Tim the Tatman. Like I didn't
Mhm.
know these people. So when I came over to it, I was like, holy crap, these people are like famous because they're streamers and
They're doing
content
what I'm
creators.
doing, but
Yeah.
they're
I'm like, they're
yeah.
doing what I'm doing. Like, and it got in my mind, like, this is where it could lead one day.
Mhm.
So it was like that really got me motivated and to kind of stick into it, and then actually buy a whole setup, buy monitors, buy PC, get
Yeah,
like
it's
the real shit going.
yeah, it's crazy to think because like, how you said you started off with a laptop, like, I was reading chat
Mhm.
off my phone. Like, I
Yeah.
had just had my phone, like, in front of me, and, like, I'd be playing, like, look down and, like, reading chat, and that's how I kept up with it.
Yeah. And I was always so jealous because, like, when I started out, I didn't understand how people had the cool overlays. Like,
Mhm.
we know what those are, obviously. But,
Yeah.
like, when I started out, I was like, how do I get that? How do I get
Like, I
that
wanna look
cool?
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm like,
like
I want my stream to look that pretty. I want these like overlays that for when I can walk away to go do something and have a BRB screen up, that would be great. But
Mhm.
I'm like, how the heck do I get to that? And I would figure out how to stream off of Mac. Obviously, you can't stream off of a fucking Mac. So I would figure out how to stream on a Mac, and then it came up like a bunch of people said you can't do that. You got to buy like actual PC and stuff. And I'm like,
Mhm.
I have to live with a basic setup for however long. And then even then, like my setup, I just had a tiny little art table that I prop these monitors up on and my PC on. I was so thankful that thing was so sturdy and it held up for as long as it did. It could have fallen out on me at any time.
That's amazing.
Now we got a nice sturdy desk, so
There you go.
we're going good here. But yeah, it's been a crazy journey. And then the people that I've met over the time, like freaking Skirata, like joining Skirata, like it's been I did not know there were teams for Call of
Yeah.
Duty. I did not know this was a thing. It's so crazy how streaming opens up a whole new world of gaming. Like
Mhm.
it's completely different than coming home from school or
Just
work,
getting on.
opening the game and playing with friends.
Yeah.
There's this whole other thing where people play Call of Duty leagues, they have orgs, and there's people that play competitively. I'm
Yeah.
like, it's all because of streaming. Streaming is like the step into a whole different
Yeah, like, a whole different
world.
side to it. There's, like, a whole like you're saying, a whole different world to it.
Yeah.
Because like, I only knew of it because I did play, like, competitive Call of Duty, like, in tournaments and stuff like that.
Right.
And so, like, I just knew, like, the basic orgs, like FaZe, Optic, stuff like that. Just the
Mhm.
teams that I saw, but I didn't know about, like, the content creation side. Other than, like,
Right.
YouTubers, but I didn't think about,
Right.
like, a streaming side at all.
Right.
And then, Courage, who is big on YouTube right now, that was probably, like, my
Mhm.
number one inspiration for streaming because he was, like, my
Yeah.
favorite commentator and stuff like that, and then he was actually leaving commentating for Call of Duty. He left in I think it was World War II, and he was like, "I'm going to be streaming," and I was like, "Oh shit!" Like, I'm gonna follow him, see what like what streaming's all about. And then I was like, "Whole like all these people stream." I'm like, everyone that I know who's big already, just from like the Call of Duty leagues and stuff like that, all do streaming. And so then it like kind of just branched into that, and it is like a whole nother world, a whole nother community, and it's insane.
Yeah.
Like the people that you meet on the journey and stuff like that.
It's why like you meet people from all across the world, like
Mhm.
fucking the UK. I know a lot more people in the UK that I'm like, and I'm learning, even learning different cultures while meeting people. I'm like, holy shit. Like I should have been doing this a long time ago.
Yeah,
And I'm
that's awesome.
super grateful for like how far we've come and stuff. It's been a journey for sure. And like, hey, also got like it's also helped me improve my skill on Call of Duty now that I'm playing that every single day. I'm just getting better by practicing every day with streaming, so it's been crazy. Now,
So-
Tevin.
Oh,
No,
yes.
my turn, buddy. All right. So, what has been your favorite moment in streaming?
Favorite moment in streaming.
Yes.
Favorite moment. So non-biased, I didn't set up this answer at all, would probably be when I first found Skirata, when Skirata found me, I should say. Only because of how chaotic it was. So I had a pre-built PC at the time. I was streaming for anyone who streams like to a PS4 or anything like that. There's like a capture card you plug into, everything. So I had like 2 or 3 viewers, and I was just playing pubs on Modern Warfare 2019, and like I was just playing, just like chit chatting to like my basic 2 viewers and stuff like that. And it was like my first raid ever. Like first raid ever. I didn't have like sound noties or anything like that. And I'm playing and I get raided by them. And it was like so much that my pre-built PC like couldn't handle it. And it like crashed my capture card and everything, like my stream like froze temporarily. And I was like I like stopped. I was like, what is going on? And like I looked over and I was like, raid. Like who's raiding me? Like who knows?
Oh no.
And so it's like Spencer and all them are like spamming the chat and everything like that. And I'm like panicking, trying to plug in the capture card. Like I'm disconnecting it, plugging it back in, like hoping it comes back up.
Skirata broke your PC.
They broke my stream. They broke my stream. Like it's like a meme. Like whenever we talk about, like whenever we first meet, they're like, yeah, like we broke your PC. Like we broke your stream. And so I'm like scrambling, whatever. And so then I'm meeting everyone at the time, like Spencer, Megan. There were some others who are no longer part of the team, but like everyone's just spamming. And I'm like, what's going on? Like, and I was actually in the middle of doing a Q&A. Like my title was like, oh, like Q&A, like come get to know me, just whatever. And so I was like, yeah, like you guys want to ask me anything? Just ask me whatever you want. And I get like 50 questions. And so I'm like starting to get to know everyone. Everyone's getting to know me. Spencer didn't like me because I said M&M McFlurries were better than Oreo McFlurries.
Oh gosh, here he goes.
And so, and then they started talking about like Pop-Tarts with butter on them, and if I like them. You like those too? I still never tried it.
You gotta have the cinnamon, the brown sugar Pop-Tarts.
You put butter on it?
Put butter on them or toast them and then put butter on them. It's like French toast. I'm just thinking about it. Like
yeah. So, and like I countered, I was like, no, I said, but I toasted the strawberry ones and put peanut butter in them between them, and it's like a toasted peanut butter and jelly.
Okay.
But, and so I'm like panicking and scrambling, and then one of my most loyal viewers, Brian, who's an amazing fucking dude, like he's gifted so much, whatever. I'm so thankful for the guy. Does everything he doesn't have to do, but he goes out of his way. And so he starts getting hyped in chat, and then next you know, like 35 subs get gifted, and I'm like, what's going on? like why are we doing this? Like whatever. And then that was like my first ever hype train, and then it was like, oh my god, insane. And I'm like legit like frozen, but I'm like just talking on like survival instincts, just keeping going. And then and then they're like, oh, you're amazing, like we like love you guys, whatever, this and that. And I was like, I'm just gonna start following everyone. Like I don't know you guys, but I'm following you all on Twitter, like this and that. And Spencer's like, you don't have sound noties on. Like, we need to get you sound noties. And I was like, yeah. I was like, I was actually in the middle of working on an overlay. I just purchased an overlay.
Right.
And it was like right before we were able to, like right before I was able to add everything. But I didn't know like you could do it through Streamlabs and everything for like the basic little zombie that does the sound noties and stuff like that. But it was like, that's like when I met everyone. But that was like one of the few moments that like will forever stick with me, because it was like, it was chaotic. It was fun. It was the randomness of it and everything like that. And it's funny. I love hearing Spencer talk about it, because like he loves talking about it, but he also feels bad because he's like, we scrolled way down the directory. And he's like, well, He's like, nothing against you. He's like, but we just
I
scrolled
think
for
I've
a
heard him
while.
talk about that before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, like, it wasn't out of pity or anything, but like, we were just happened to be scrolling out of everything. And I'm like, dude, like, it's okay. I get it. Like, I understand and
Like,
stuff.
just so you didn't know, you were way
Yeah.
at the bottom of the.
Yeah.
You
And
had
he's
the
like,
lowest amount of viewers.
he's like, yeah, he's like, but like, we went all the way down. I'm like, I get, like, it's not bad. I understand what you're saying and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
I
He's like,
get
oh, yeah.
it.
Yeah. He's like, it's nothing personal. I'm like, no, I get it. Like, that's the story. You guys, I was way
That's when
down the
I would
directory.
start making Spencer feel like shit. I'd be like, oh, really? Way to remind me of like how I have no one watching me.
Yeah, no, and it's crazy, like, just thinking, because, like, it's like everything happens for a reason in my eyes.
Yeah,
Like, I'm such a
exactly.
strong believer that everything happens.
I think Skirata owes you a new PC.
Since then, I have a new one. I built
Yeah.
my own, and it was like crazy because like Megan, like they're like, "Oh, where are you from?" I was like, "Oh, I'm in Colorado," and Megan's like, "Oh, I'm in Colorado," and I was like, "Whoa," like whatever. But it was like just crazy everything that happened,
It's a small
and
world,
yeah, and it is insane. But that's probably
that
one of
all
my
happened
most
within the matter of one stream.
yeah, exactly.
Like, you even
And
said that when you were talking about how you were starting out streaming, how you were talking
one
about
day,
watching Tim the Tatman, and one day everything could change, literally.
literally everything can change.
That was your day that everything
Yeah,
changed for
like, I
you.
never saw myself doing a podcast for the exact people who crashed my
Right.
stream and stuff like that, or, like, knowing any of them personally.
That's the way that you gotta show you gotta throw shade at them now is, I never thought I would be doing this for the team that crashed my stream.
Yeah, no, like, it
Practically
was
broke my PC.
yeah, that was, like, my first hype train, that was my first raid, PC
Wow.
crashed, it was, like yeah, it was literally, like, so much happened at once that it'll forever be, like, one of my most memorable and,
That's like a
like
whole cluster of emotions,
yeah,
like, I wouldn't be
exactly.
able to handle that.
Like, it was, like, excited, and then it was, like I was terrified and scared because everything crashed, and I was like, "This is the time
Yeah.
for this to be happening." And then I was like yeah, and then it just turned out to be one of the most memorable nights, and it was just I'm just extremely thankful for it.
And look at where you are now.
Right? Who would have thought? Not me.
You're dealing with me.
I wouldn't have a better co-host
Could you imagine?
if I had a different co-host.
Yeah. I don't
Like,
think you would get, like, annoyed as much. Well, I don't think I annoy you. Do I annoy you?
no, you don't.
I try to annoy you, and I don't think it works.
I'm too
I think we, like
neutral.
yeah, but I think it's like we match each other. Like, if I throw something at you, you throw it right back at
Oh
me.
yeah, no, energies match for sure. Like we
Yeah.
definitely match energies, and so it's just yeah.
Yeah. If
It
there
works
was
out
someone else,
perfect.
I would just be like, "Get the fuck out of here. I don't need you."
Yeah.
I
Like if
was
shade's gonna be
like
thrown, I'm gonna throw shade right back. But it's like, and then we're just both giddy, and it's just
It was like the day that we had Frankie when he came on, and your camera or something
camera.
went out, and I was here by myself. All I was thinking was like, well, what the fuck? Like, who am I gonna like what? Like, now I don't have that person to bounce off of. I
I
gotta work
love
on myself. Like,
so it's hilarious because I absolutely love that intro because it starts and you're like, "Hi."
I was so confused. I froze. I don't know what to do. I don't like being caught off guard like that. And
Yeah, it was like I remember like that was another moment of panic because everything was fine. We sat there for like 25 minutes just discussing. So for
yeah.
everyone listening, we meet up about like 25 minutes before each podcast and make sure everything is okay.
Yeah.
We literally and somehow every time nothing is okay. Like not everything is okay every single time, no matter what. But it's like fine. And then so we started our intro screen, and as soon as it did that, it was like camera cannot be detected. And I was like, wait, what? I was like, what do you mean camera cannot be detected? And then Zyro was like messaging in our chat, and he's like, hey, like we can't see you. And I'm like, I know. And he's like, well, turn your camera on. I was like, I'm trying. Like,
We just see this whole conversation in the private chat, like I saw between you and him, and you're just like, yeah, I know. I don't know what's going on. And
Yeah, I
I'm
was
trying
like-
to read that and also talk to Frankie.
and I was like, I'm trying.
Sweating. I was
He's like-
sweating.
He's all turn it off, turn it on again. I was like, I did. I was like, it's working in everything else that I'm doing, but I don't know what's going on. Yeah, it
I'm just
was.
watching and I'm like, okay, hopefully I see, okay, I'm back, or I see something in that message group. I'm like, I'm waiting for that heavenly message to come through. And I'm just trying to interact with Frankie, and I'm just like, oh God, please come back. Come back. You can come back now. Like, where is he?
Yeah, it's like, oh God, technical difficulties. We love them.
But that's part of streaming. Like, we're
That is
gonna
part of
have those
streaming.
issues. Like,
Yeah.
internet issues, that's the most common thing.
Yeah. Internet. Yeah. Technical difficulties. No one ever plans for them.
Yeah, and issues like that, it's like everything could be going great, and then as soon as you hit that go live button, everything just blows up. It's just, it's not. It's
Every
shit.
time. Every time. So, Lainie, you asked about one of my most memorable moments, but let's talk about how did you hear about Skirata and go about joining it?
Okay. I heard about Skirata when I was in a team called Rex, or Rex Clan. I was with them and I met Purge. He is a very well-known UK player. He was talking about this other team, Skirata. He knows some people on that team. They're really cool. And then I would go to his streams and I would see like Megan in there. And I would see Spencer in there occasionally too. And I was like, what the heck is Skirata? Like, this is when I was just learning what teams were out there. Like, I knew about FaZe and the big teams, but I didn't know about like these smaller teams. And the more I learned about Skirata, I'm like, okay, that's a nice looking team. But I was on Rex at the time, so I was being very loyal and I was being nice. And I remember when I left Rex, I almost said left Skirata. That would have been, I would have died as soon as but as soon as I left Rex, I remember Megan asking me like how I would feel about joining another team. And I was like, I kind of want to just like do my independence thing and let a team approach me instead of me approaching a team, because I approached Rex, and that whole experience really showed me I have to look into these teams. If I'm going to approach them, I have to look into them first before just saying, hey, I'd love to join your team just because I like the name of your team. Like, that's the only really reason that I wanted to join Rex, was because I'm a T-Rex person and I like the name.
There you go.
I joined. It was all right for the time being. And then, of course, you saw the flaws. But I told Megan, I was like, I need a team to approach me, because I know if a team approaches me, they're coming to me for what they see in my streams. They see what I have, and they're going to want me there, and they're going to put that effort into me as much as I put into them. And Spencer would come by the streams here and there, and he'd be like, so Skirata Lainie win? And I was like, I don't know. And randomly one day he was like, so I know I've been saying this for a while, but have you put any thought into joining Skirata? And I was like, why not? Let me just do it. Like, let me give it a try. I've been thinking about it. I'm just going to do it. And we had a whole conversation. He told me about the podcast idea, and that clicked in my head. Like, okay, yes, I want it. I want to do it. Like, I loved doing the podcast on Rex. So being able to carry over the same kind of podcast and having people who were willing to help me with it, and having a co-host, and that whole having like a good solid background for it, I was like, okay, this is my opportunity to do it. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. And thankfully it's worked out. I've loved every moment about it. It's been amazing.
We love having you.
Yes. And I love this podcast. I love everyone that's here. I love you, Tev. It's all turned out so great.
Yeah, no, it's like when I first heard about you, Spencer messaged me. He DM'd me on Twitter, and he was just like, so how would you feel about co-hosting a podcast? And I was like, sure. I never done one, but yeah, sure. I'm like, who do you want it to be with? Like, do you want it to be myself or like co-host? He's like, no. I was like someone on the team. He's like, no. He's like, you don't really know her, actually. And I was like, what? Like, what do you mean? How am I supposed to do this then? he like gave me your at, and he's like, she streams, like, just go check it out, whatever. And it was like our schedules were so opposite. Like you would go live, and
Yeah.
like I'd be working, and then by the time like when you would get off, like I would start mine. And I
Mhm.
was like, I'm trying to figure out who this person is, but I
Yeah.
don't. I actually don't even. If I'm gonna be 100% honest, I don't remember how did we first interact.
Oh gosh, that's a good question.
I honestly don't know.
I think
Did we just play? No, I think we played with Andrew, maybe. Which, by the way, happy birthday,
yeah,
Andrew!
that was the first. Yes.
Happy birthday, Red Zone.
Everyone please give a good happy birthday to Red Zone. It is
But yes,
birthday boy.
I believe we. That's just how we met. Was like, oh
Yeah,
shit!
I
Like,
think well, we were kind of like there were small interactions where we would come to each other's streams and then like
mhm,
trying to get to know each other and then like messaging each other. We were trying to
mhm,
get a feel for each other. And then we gamed with we did game with Red Zone.
mhm.
And that was when we really got the real vibe for each other. But I don't think we actually sat down and had like a real on conversation until our first podcast.
I think we played once before because Spencer was like, "Have you guys talked to each other yet?" And we're like,
Yeah. And
"Oh
that was
yeah." We're like,
we
"We
were
should
like,
probably do
yeah.
that."
Yeah,
And so
because we
then,
played either once or twice, and then
yeah,
our
so we put,
first real conversation was our first podcast.
yeah, because then I think we played like once before. We're like,
Yeah.
yeah, like we have a plan to play, like whatever, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But yeah, and so then it was like 3 days before our first podcast. He's like, "Have you guys
Yeah.
talked to each other at all?" And I was like, "No."
We were slacking so bad, and then, of course, the first episode, it was, like, our first time actually sitting here and, like, having a
Yeah.
conversation, and it turned out great.
Mhm.
Like,
Yes, it did.
it worked out perfectly, and then, like, even interacting in each other's streams, we were like, "I'm gonna like you." Like, "This is gonna be a good one."
Yeah, yeah, I could tell the vibe, the
Yeah.
energy. It's like, okay, I can
Oh,
see
yeah.
this.
Yeah, it's been great. And I'm glad that, I haven't steered you away.
Oh no, very hard. So I can say the same though.
It works out. Like I said, we bounce off of each other. It works out for
Absolutely,
us.
absolutely, it works. Spencer made a good choice.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was definitely nervous because for me, it takes a lot for me to get comfortable with someone. Like, it
Hmm.
takes a lot of time for me to get comfortable with people. So, I think that was also what took me so long to actually game with you because, like, I'm nervous when when people come to my chat and they're like, "Can I game with you?" And I'm just like, like, I'd rather game with people I know, and, like, I'm shy. And I remember he was like, "Yeah, we gotta find you a co-host and this and that." He's like, "I think I have somebody for you." And I was like, "Okay." And, like, getting to know you through your streams and stuff, I was like, "Okay, yeah, like, I'm, like, cool, he's gonna be a cool guy." But I was so shy and so nervous to the point where I was like, "Okay, so how do I go about, like, a conversation with this person? Like, how do I do this?" And
Hmm.
it worked out when we gamed with Red Zone. Like, it was able to just flow together and we got
Yeah,
to know each other. But, like, that's how I am. Like, I can't just talk to people. I can't just,
I
like,
feel
sit
you.
there and
No,
have a full-on
absolutely.
conversation. It takes a
Yeah,
lot for me to open
like
up
on
to
stream, I'm like
people.
extroverted, but like in society, I'm like such an introvert. I'm like, no,
Yeah,
I'm not talking to
exactly.
anyone.
I stick to myself so much. It's crazy. That's why you see me mostly gaming with the same people. If I don't have those people online, I am playing solo, and I will happily play solo. But yeah, it takes a lot.
Builds team chemistry.
Yes. So, what has been your biggest learning experience from streaming?
Um, just to be myself. So growing up, I was very like hard on myself about like my self image, about how I'm presented in the spotlight. Like I
Mhm.
always cared about like what people thought about me and stuff like that. And like I hated making a fool out of myself. Like I hated like the feeling of embarrassment to me was like one of the worst things ever. Like I hated it. I'm like, I can't do this. And
Yeah.
then come streaming, like people see how I reacted, people see me rage and stuff like that. And it was like at first I would like try not to rage. Honestly, like
Right.
when I first started, I would try not to rage. I'm like, that's embarrassing. Like I don't want people to see that side. But then
Right.
people like loved it. People love raging. Like it's and so then I like slowly start to do it more, and like I started to open up, and I started like to just be myself and be like the weird, silly side of myself. And it's
Yeah.
like now I'm known for like drooling on myself like on stream and like stuff like that. And like
That's my
before, like I would
favorite.
like hate to do that. Like I wanted everything to do that, especially on like camera in front of people.
Right.
Like if someone would be like, "Yo, hey, we need you to drool," I'd be like, "Hell no! Like no, I'm not gonna do that. Why on earth would I do that?" It's like
Right.
now I do it on command. Like when people do it, I'm like, and then people love it so much, and I'm like, now it's like now I don't care what people think about me. Like I get rated, and people do it on purpose. Like, oh hey, Smidrate, and I'm like,
You're
and
giving the people what they want.
yes, and so it's like that's one of the biggest things I've learned from streaming, and one of the biggest
Yeah.
things taking care is like don't be afraid to be yourself.
Yeah.
And it's just it's crazy. Like the experiences that I've had, the people I've met, I've laughed to where I'm like wheezing on stream. I've cried on stream. I've raged on stream. I've like it's just it's taught me a lot just to be proud of who I am and like to feel that way. Like I'm human
Yeah.
and people are
Yeah.
there for me because of who I am.
Exactly. Yeah, I feel that for sure. That's a big thing is like you don't want to follow how other people are presenting themselves in their streams and stuff. Like
Hmm.
if you want to act like Tim the Tap Man, you're not going to get the same reactions that he gets. Like it's all about
Hmm.
having a unique personality. Not everyone wants to see a million Tim the Tap Mans. They want to see one Tim the Tap Man and one anger aura. That's what they want.
Yeah, it's definitely an experience, and I'm thankful for every moment of it. It's insane. This is like now that I've started, I don't think I could see myself like stop streaming
Yeah.
like at all ever. Because
It's
like I know I'm
definitely
honest.
a booster too, like to you, because it's like I for me for a long time, like when I was younger, I used to get bullied for how weird I was. So like it took a lot for me to be my weird quirky self on stream.
Mhm,
And like even when I first started streaming, I was still like this very like closed in person. Like I didn't really talk a lot on stream. Like I would talk whenever someone would say something, but I was like not really talking. I wouldn't really interact. And then the more that myself started to come out, I started to get comfortable and I'm like, okay, cool. Like, of course, yeah, there's still people that come in and they're trolls, but I'm able to handle it now to where you can respond better. But that
mhm,
helps you when you see people come in and they're like, oh my God, I love your personality, or oh my gosh, you're hilarious. And they interact with you and then they kind of bounce off of you. It makes you feel
mhm.
comfortable and it makes your streams like flow better too.
Absolutely. It gravitates the audience that you want.
Yes.
That's what it is. So it's like literally you just being yourself brings people who are like yourself and love it and makes the interaction so much better.
Exactly. Yes.
So, do you have any intentions of streaming if given the opportunity?
Of quit streaming?
No, to go full time on it.
Oh, to go full time? Yes. Hell yes. Yes. I would definitely do it. It would definitely be an adjustment
Mhm,
cuz obviously streaming as is, it takes a huge toll for me on my mental health. It
mhm,
takes a huge toll. And it would be an adjustment, but with when I do stream, I know how much I enjoy it and how much I love it and interacting with people and gaming, it's fun to me. So I know that would be something that I would enjoy doing.
mhm,
Um, it's a goal of mine. I don't plan for that to happen anytime soon, but it'd be nice for it to happen eventually.
That's
But yeah,
good.
that's definitely a long-term goal.
Love it.
Oh, yes. So, I think we are at the time for our questions from
Ooh.
chat. All right, let's see
Yes.
who's the
Please, guys, ask
first.
us questions. Anything
Yes,
you want to know about us.
we are open to anything. Tevin, if you want to ask the first question.
It's about
Oh wait,
myself.
here,
Don't
let me
ask.
ask you. Let me ask you.
All
Sorry,
right. All
I didn't
right.
see the first two words.
Oh my god.
All right, so from the head honcho, original Bon Jovi, he asks, whenever Tevin has to clutch a game of Warzone, he goes whole minutes at a time without blinking. What is the secret to having all these gamer eyes?
So I have an explanation behind this. That's funny though, but it's so
I
funny
just
because like
imagine Tevin sitting there like holding his
no, like
eyelids open.
so it's funny because like in my TikToks and stuff like that, like there's people who are like blink or like any of our YouTube shorts are like, yo, he doesn't blink. So story behind, I guess I just trained myself to do this. So story behind this, for any like OG COD fans, especially Optic fans, Optic Embos. He was a COD Pro, whatever, major part of Optic. So he's playing a wager, which for those who don't know, is just like $1, $5. Pretty much, you play against someone 1v1. Like if I win, I get your money. That's about it.
Right.
So he's playing Modern Warfare Remastered, and he's playing Search and Destroy, and he's like staring at a bomb site, whatever. And he blinks and like does this real quick, and like he like wipes his eyes and like goes back to looking. But in that like half second of him doing that, the guy that he's playing runs across his screen. And so he like does that, and then he goes back to like looking, and then the guy like defuses the bomb for him to like lose, and he's like, wait, like what? How?
Oh my God.
And so I guess like subconsciously I was like, I don't ever want that to happen to me. And so like I guess when I'm locked in, I just don't blink. Like I'm just paying attention to everything that is going on around me. So
It's
that is
you
like
can't blink. You can't take your eyes
yeah,
off the
and like
screen.
I don't ever notice until like, and like I like shorten my breaths too. Like I don't breathe. So after every clutch moment, like you'll see me, I go like whatever. Like it's just like my body's like releasing because usually I like tense up, and then like I like blink and I rub my eyes because I don't ever pay attention until I never notice it until people are like, "You don't blink," and I'm like,
I've noticed
God,
that. Yeah,
I don't blink
Wow.
at all.
I do notice that you look like a completely different person too when you're zoned in. It's like you're
Yeah,
just
that's what I'm saying. Like,
oh my God, that's great. I love that. That happened just from him rubbing his eyes.
yeah, it like scarred me. It didn't even happen to me. Next question we have from Squooks. Love you, Squooks. What is your favorite aspect of content creation?
You answer first. It's for both of us.
You can't Uno reverse
You
card me
answer
like
first.
that.
I gotta
We're
think about
alternating
this.
questions for a reason.
Yeah, we're alternating reading the questions.
Anyways, I would probably say the community and the people that I've met through it. That is my favorite aspect of it. Like we said earlier in the podcast, I never intended on knowing anyone from the UK, Australia, and different parts of the world, and learning their cultures and just meeting people that I vibe with on the other side of the world is absolutely mind blowing to me. And to have them regularly come back it's still leaves me in disbelief. And that's probably my favorite aspect of it. And it's like also seeing memories just being made in like previous videos, broadcasts, and stuff like that. It's awesome.
Yeah, I have to say my favorite part of it is like when I do it, like, and I can look back at it and I see like how much I've grown with like, I love seeing my personality show up in it because I don't realize how I react when I'm gaming. Like I don't realize in that moment, but when I go back and I watch videos or clips and stuff, and I'm like, that's really how I react. Like in one of our plays of the weeks, my first one, my freaking reactions to my snipes. I did not realize that's how I
The
was
gasp.
reacting every
The
time.
Lainie gasp. It's amazing.
There's this whole reel of me like gasping. I don't realize that. And it cracks me up because it's like I think of like all the memories I'm making with you guys and the people I'm meeting through gaming. It really warms my heart. That sounds very cringy, but
Absolutely.
It's really nice feeling. I love the community. I love seeing how much I'm growing and putting myself out there. I'm such an introvert that I'm surprised that I'm even like doing a podcast right now. So it's been a good journey.
Next
Alrighty.
What?
Okay. This is a good question. What game have you enjoyed playing the most on stream? Maybe not the most viewers, but you enjoyed it. The chat was popping. Everyone was having fun.
Ooh, good question, Benny. Benny is probably my number one mod and also my roommate that I've
Oh,
known
let's
for
go.
yes.
Shout out to the
Um,
roommates.
what game have I enjoyed playing most on stream? Um, when in October I would play nothing but horror games. And not this year, but last year I played Outlast, and it was kind of a collab stream as well with my friend Dalton and his girlfriend and stuff like that. And she has like her own clothing brand, so it was like promote each other pretty much. But we played Outlast, and a horror people love just seeing people get scared, and
Oh, yes.
so yeah, so that and Among Us I would probably say, because Among Us brought out the most heated arguments ever. You would see sides of people that you never knew until they think you did something that you didn't do. Like the nicest people, and they would just be accusing you of everything.
It's
Although
the
Among Us
best.
is a bittersweet because I was always first voted out no matter what. If I talked too much, I was sus. If I was quiet, I was sus. No, I was red, so I was sus. Like
If you blink, you're sus.
yeah, and so, but it did lead for some of the most memorable moments and arguments, and probably one of the funnest experiences streaming.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I gotta say, I've enjoyed playing, frickin' what is my game? Sims. Lately, playing The Sims since I've created my Skirata Gaming household.
Oh, we love it.
Seeing our Skirata Sims members interact with each other. Little update to everyone in chat. I made a huge in Sims, I built a Skirata Gaming house. And
Mansion.
I have, yes, freaking, it's huge. And I got most of the members. I have Megan, Spencer, Tevin. I'm in there. Red Zone. I have Frankie in there. Megan and I believe it's Frankie have created a romance.
Ooh.
And mind you, with The Sims, normally I make them interact with each other. But I sat back for these ones just to see how they would
Naturally, they would
interact.
interact.
And it is the funniest thing. Like Spencer, we all know Spencer goes to the gym a lot. His sim, I have him working out all the time. So he's on a workout plan. And the
Love
way
it.
he works out is so funny. There's a very popular video of Spencer working out. I don't think I want to expose him, but
I'll do
it's
it.
him
Do it.
bashing his knees on like the ab compress. It's hilarious. His knees slip and he bashes his knees. Well, his sim cannot do, I don't know what those are called, the pull down.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
The
for like your
pull
back.
downs. Yeah.
Yes. His sim can't do them to save his life. I don't know how much he's leveled up his fitness level, but he still cannot do those. His little sim struggles. You see him going, it's the funniest thing to watch that I'm like, oh my god, these Sims like
No, they're
and you get
interacting like how they really
yeah,
are.
they interact just like how we all normally interact. The whole Megan and Frankie thing, I'm gonna have to like really look into that one. I'm like, how did that become something? I just see little hearts around
That's
them and I'm like
amazing. We love that.
but yeah, it's like and like I mean that doesn't get a lot of views, but I have so much fun playing
Mhm.
that game. Like
It's like a soap opera. It's like a reality TV show.
yeah. It helps playing those games you enjoy. It helps you kind of be able to entertain your stream.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's a big tip for streamers out there. Don't play the games people want. Play the games that you enjoy.
So,
Helps your
question
content.
from original Bon Jovi himself, Lainie. Who
Mm.
gets first dibs on bedrooms in the Skirata house? Asking for a friend.
Me. Me. No, I'm kidding. Megan. I feel like Megan deserves first dibs. Because Megan does a lot, so I think she deserves first dibs. And then I do. Because ladies first. So suck it, boys. and then of course me and Megan get the nicest rooms and then the boys get to pick whatever. All right. From Rogue One, how did you meet your mods for respective channels and why did you pick them?
Ooh, good question. So Rogue One actually is one of my mods.
Yeah.
I met Rogue through a fellow friend of Skirata, Mr. Adam Platinum, Daddy Platinum. We love him. Rogis, I think Adam rated me one time, or I rated Adam, one of the two, and eventually people just come and go in your stream, and Rogue actually would be like a repeat offender coming in and talking and stuff like that. The way I go about picking mods is pretty much just how active you are in chat, how often you're there in chat, just the vibes. Like there's people who are there every day that are there but aren't mods, but the vibe of it, trust, it's a lot of trust, it's a lot of power. I've taken mods from people. It's a actually I have a lot of power with the mods. But yeah, so a lot of them are people that I know IRL. As for people as I don't know IRL, just about how we vibe, the trustworthiness of them, and just how often you're in stream.
Yeah, I know my mods. I have Damien, who's Vital Assault. He's the one that got me into streaming. I have him as a mod, and he's a mod because he knows what to look out for. Since he's been streaming longer than me, he knows what to look out for and what to warn me about. And he knows when someone's trolling to get them out of there. He knows my personality and what I don't like, so he gets them out of there. I have Dragonfly. She's helped me figure out my links for any of my chat commands. She helped me work on those. Unknown JJ is a very popular one in everyone's streams.
Oh, JJ.
Yes, he's a mod in my chat, especially when the whole Haas thing was going on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he was helping me ban those. So I made him a mod for that reason. And he's good with it. He hasn't
we love JJ.
Take advantage of those mod rules. But as soon as anyone acts up, I am obviously going to take those away. I have taken away mod privileges from people who just kind of come in, like, you mod there actively for a long time. They do stuff that they're supposed to do, and then they kind of start to drift off and disappear, and then they only come in here and there, and they try to, like, when you ask them to, if you're not able to ban somebody and you know they're in your chat, you ask them to do it, and they're just like, I'm gaming, or like I'm doing something, and I'm like, all right, well, let me pause my game, let me go do this. And
what's funny is so Ben, my roommate and stuff like that, he'll be like in our living room, and sometimes I think he's like at his setup, and my reaction every time to, like, whenever there's a bot in chat or anything like that, I'm like, oh, ban, except he'll like hear me say that and he'll run from the living room up to his setup and he bans. I'm like, dude, I thought you're in the living room. He's like, I heard you, so I just ran to it. And I was like, and so it's great. Like, that's the dedication that we love.
Yeah. One day you'll have dedicated mods that are you'll be paying to be in your stream and actually take care of it. But for right now, it's like, I mean, I'm able to handle a lot of the trolls with.
Yeah.
I'm able to do it myself, but when you're just doing it for the mods that are already there, it's kind of like, what's the point of having the mods that are in there? So
yeah,
it's like, all right, just get rid of all of my mods, then I'll be my own mod. I've seen people do that like crazy, where they just get rid of all their mods and they're their own mod. I don't know how they do it. Yeah,
it's impressive.
For sure. All right.
Next question. We have Mr. Darren. Love you, Darren. He's asking, how do you guys handle a somewhat big following? I want to stream, but I don't really listen to people who don't mean anything to me. Does that mean I mean something to you?
That's a good question. How do you somewhat handle a big following? It's kind of like you kind of just have to stick to who you are. Stick to your personality, because there are going to be people come in and tell you and be like, why aren't you playing this game? You should be playing this game. Like, say since Vanguard is the really popular game right now, and you're choosing to play
Sims,
yeah. If you're choosing to play that game because you enjoy that game, you love doing it, but you have people in your chat that are like, how come you're not playing this? You need to be playing this. It's better here. You just gotta stick to yourself and be like, this is what I enjoy doing. If you don't like watching it, go look up that category and you can go find someone else to much.
Yeah.
It's all about just sticking to your own personality, really.
Yeah, we go over it in some previous previous podcasts, and we ask people like, how do you feel about switching games when you have a much larger following? And they're like, I know I'm gonna take a hit, but what matters is the fact that I enjoy it. And on top of that, it's in my eyes, the people are there for you. Some people are there for like the content and stuff like that. But the people that you want to attract to you and like build your foundation with are going to be there for you no matter what, regardless what game you play and stuff like that. They're there to interact with you.
Yeah.
So whether you're playing sports games or anything like that, just be yourself. And it's going to start off with your close friends being there. And then next, some random people are going to drop by and then they're going to come back over and over as long as they just love your personality. So just be yourself. That's about it.
Yeah, you're going to have people that are going to only be there just to watch what game you're playing, and then they'll see that you're not playing the game that they want to see, and they won't be there. So just expect those people to not always be there, but there are going to be those ones that stick around.
You can't please everyone.
Enjoy you. Yeah. That's just how it goes. And it sucks, but don't let it kill your motivation to stream. Remember why you're streaming. Remember why you enjoy playing that game, and continue to do it, because
absolutely
you're gonna attract way more people that are interested in seeing you having fun and putting that good content out there. Okay, another one from Bon Jovi. Can Tevin tell chat about the Christmas card situation and how he reacted? Was that something he suspected? Yes, here we go.
Okay. Story time. Did I put my headset on backwards? I did. So Skirata sends out Christmas cards. And they've been doing it for I don't know how long, but it's a yearly thing. Spencer goes out, sends Christmas cards, has a lovely message on them, whatever. So like I said, when I first heard about Skirata, I kind of just met them through their streams. I would pop into their streams and stuff like that. And got really familiar with Megan, Spencer, everyone. And I signed up for a Christmas card. And okay, so it's gonna be the 6th year. So this is gonna be the 6th year of Christmas cards. If you guys want one, go sign up.
Yes.
So I knew everyone. I never was one to be like, hey, I should join Skirata. Hey, can you guys like recruit me and stuff like that? Like I just loved everyone and I made myself familiar with the team. And there was one time where I was in Spencer's chat and I was like, hey, like we were just talking. Oh no, he was in my chat and we were talking about the Christmas cards and stuff. And I was like, you should just write like, thanks for joining Skirata. Like that's about it. Like that was the one time I ever said anything about like joining Skirata. And he was just like LMFAO, like whatever, just like kind of laughed it off. And I was just like, okay, like whatever, went back to what I was doing. And then it was like prime peak COVID time. So there was like a mail shortage and stuff like that, like workers, everything. Something was going on with the mail system to where people were getting their stuff very, very late. And it kind of got to the point to where people started to ask me like, hey, did you get your Christmas card? And I was like, no, like, did you guys like whatever? And then Spencer was like starting to get aggressive about it. He's like, have you got your fucking Christmas card yet? And I was like, no, I haven't. I'm sorry. Like whatever, like whatever. And I was like, everyone's starting to ask me like, why am I getting my Christmas card? Like no one's got theirs, like whatever. So funny story, I'm gonna leak some information that no one knows about. Ooh. So it was the surprise was kind of leaked to me in a way, thanks to our lovely Megan. Yeah.
We love her.
So I got a notification. So I was all my mail so it gets sent to my parents, and my mom was like checking, like, hey, like I was like, hey, like I should be getting a Christmas card soon, like whatever, blah blah. And she was like, hey, like you're getting a card today. And I was like, oh shit, like it's here, like it's gonna be here. Like I was like all excited. And then I Snapchatted Megan. I was like, yo, like my card's coming today. Like all this and that. I was like, I'm getting my, like I got my card. And she wrote, yay, congrats. And she was like, knew it would happen. And I was like I didn't like really register it. I was like, yeah, like whatever, I'm getting my card. whatever. And we were like talking throughout the rest of the day. And we said something, and I was like, I just want to be teammates already. Like, when the fuck's that gonna happen? And she goes, did you not read your card? And I was like, what? What do you mean did I not read my card? I was like, I haven't gotten my card yet. What do you mean? And she goes, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. No, 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 no. Like, just forget that I just said that. Like, whatever, blah, blah. And I was like, wait. I was like, Megan, I was like, are we teammates? And she was like, don't forget. She's like, don't tell anyone I said anything. She's like, oh my God, I hate myself for this. Like, I feel so bad. And I was like, whatever. And then she like kind of tried to like play it off, was like, oh, like, she was like, no, like, I was like, just kidding. Like, what if like that happens? Like, whatever, this and that. And so like my suspicions shot through the fucking roof.
Yeah.
It shot through the roof. And like I went to Red Zone stream, and Red Zone's like, hey, have you got your card yet? Like, let me know when you got your card. Like make sure you let me know. And I was like, I think I'm joining.
It's just one after another. Like,
yeah, so like it like slowly started to increase more and more. And then I was like playing with Young Texas at the time, was part of Skirata.
Yeah.
I was playing with Mikey. We were playing Cold War. And he was like, yo, like you get your card today? And I was like, I'm supposed to. He's like, yo, like let me know when you get it. Like whatever. Like we were just running pubs. And I was like, hey, my parents said I get my card. And he's all, go get your card. Go get it now. And I was like, should I go get it? He's like, yes. Like, go get it. And I was like, all right. And so then I was like, driving, and I was like, I think I'm joining Skirata. I was like, I think it's really gonna happen. So I went, got my card, and I opened it up on stream, and everyone was like there. Like everyone in Skirata was there, and like my family was there. And it says, so like they had their message on top, and then written was like, Tevin, congrats on joining. And he goes, yes, I said it. Keep up the good work and have a safe, very Merry Christmas with much love, Spencer. And I was like, oh my God. And then I was like freaking out, tripping out. But that's how I joined Skirata. It was supposed to be like a Christmas surprise, but because of COVID and everything, it was like mid-January.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's actually how I joined Skirata, and that is the story behind the Christmas card situation.
It's such a great memory. Damn.
Yeah, it was insane.
Imagine the same freaking team that basically crashed your stream. And then they ruined the surprise for you.
Yeah, it was amazing. Like it was definitely another one of
You
the
gotta love it.
memorable
That's what I
moments.
love about I love Skirata. There's always something.
It was great because like Spencer tweeted out like, who wants Christmas cards again like this year? And I was like, ooh, me. And he's like, perfect. He's like, your next one's your Skirata eviction notice. And I was like, oh.
That's great. All right, we have time for one more question. All right, Teb.
So another one from Squooks is, what is the key part, in your opinion, in your plan for success?
Don't focus on the negativity. Don't get so in your head. Focus on what you want to see yourself doing in the future. Focus on what you're doing right now and what you can do to better your content creation, your streams. Continue to put as much of you in your streams. Put as much variety if that's you, if you like doing that. Put as much variety in your streams, content creation. But yeah, don't focus on the negativity, because that's really gonna bring you down. You're gonna second guess yourself. You're gonna doubt everything you do, and it's just gonna make it worse. So keep looking for the future. Think of what you want to see yourself doing in the future, and think of goals, and keep pushing towards those goals.
Absolutely. Health is wealth in my eyes.
Mhm.
So don't lose yourself. Just play what you want to play. The people are going to be there for you. They're going to gravitate towards your personality, stuff like that. Don't pay attention to viewer count. When things are supposed to happen, they're going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever's meant to happen will happen.
Mm-hmm.
Just if you feel yourself burning out, take time away. It gets draining. People don't talk about it. It gets draining to sit in front of a camera and entertain people for hours on end. But definitely don't lose yourself. Take care of yourself. Do it as long as it's fun. As long as it's still fun to you, make sure it doesn't feel like a job. And as long as you're having fun and it's a hobby still and you're enjoying every moment of it, then stay on it.
Mm-hmm. And don't be afraid to take risks. Try new things.
Absolutely.
You have to risk some things sometimes. You won't learn unless you try. Do it. Like, if you're debating on changing platforms that you want to stream on, like, do your research about it, see how you feel about it. Just do it. Just try it out. If it doesn't work out, you can always go back to plan B and then
Yeah. You're definitely gonna
try
have to
it
do
out.
stuff that you're not comfortable with.
Yes.
Like, I was never one to be advertising myself and be like, hey, go watch my stream. Hey, go do this and stuff like that. But in this type of industry, I should say, it's you have to.
Mhm.
You have to respectfully self promo. You
Mhm.
have to put your name out there. You have to stay on it. You have to expand. If you plan on being successful at all in streaming, you definitely have to be multi-platform. You have to do things on YouTube, on TikTok, because streaming alone isn't going to do it. You have to get yourself out there as much as you
Mhm.
can.
Yes. Network. Definitely network. Go meet
Mhm.
other streamers. Don't promote yourself in other people's streams.
Yeah,
Just
be
go meet
respectful.
other streamers and get to know other people and put yourself
Just
out
be
there.
respectful. That's it.
Yeah. I know, like we said earlier, neither of us like talking about ourselves, but you kinda have to do it on some of the
Yeah,
on Twitter, you have to
absolutely.
put it out there and do it. You
You have
just
to give
gotta do
people the
it.
opportunity.
Yes. Yes, definitely.
Closed mouths don't get fed.
Well, that is all we have for today. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming out. Tevin, thank you for
Lainey, thank
being
you so
an
much. This was
amazing
fun.
guest.
Yeah.
My co-host is my guest. It's been amazing. It was
Yeah.
definitely different asking you like a lot of the questions that we would ask like other streamers. Like
Yeah, no,
it's weird.
absolutely.
It's weird being
Yeah.
the one getting questioned.
Mhm.
Like half the time I'm sitting here, I'm like I'm not used to it. I'm just like, wait, I'm supposed to
Yeah, like,
answer
usually we know,
you?
like, what the script is, but we're like, "I don't know what's coming my way."
It was weird not preparing for this episode.
Yeah.
Like I usually prepare questions, do a bunch of
Mhm.
research, but this time I was like, I have
Yep,
nothing prepared.
yep. Just let it flow.
It's been great. It's been amazing. And thank you guys so much for being so supportive for this, the 8th episode
We
of
love you
Beyond
guys.
Streaming. And I'm so excited for the next episodes we have planned. I'm super, super excited. I can't say that enough.
It's just the start. It's just the
Yes,
start. We
just the
have
start. Well, I hope you guys had a great time with us. Our links for our Twitch will be in
the description.
descriptions. It'll be somewhere, some place. You'll find them. Also, don't forget to sub. Turn on your noties for the YouTube channel. We upload every day. You can find some amazing loadouts. You also get to see some really funny plays of the weeks.
Oh,
Just do it.
yes.
You love our
Absolutely.
YouTube channel is amazing. You'll love it. But that is all from us. I hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend, and we will see you in the next one. Bye.
Love you guys. Bye.
Love you all. Bye.